Welcome to a video tutorial working with word problems and algebra and consecutive numbers. Specifically the consecutive number problems. They're one of those tricky problems that students hate, that teachers like to give, right? Because it tests how well can you kind of piecemeal an equation together and translate words, etc. So I want to give you a good example of a consecutive number problem, help you know how to tangibly work with consecutive numbers and what those mean, and be able to get to an algebra equation that you can then solve. So here's my problem. I got the sum of three consecutive numbers is equal to 84, and I want to find the three numbers. Well, the guess and check is a valid method. I could start pulling out my calculator and hitting buttons and boom, boom, boom. I could probably reasonably get to this. It's not too hard of a problem to guess and check on. But let's algebra size this. It's not a real word, is it? Let's use some algebra and solve this thing out. So keywords, I've got the sum, so I know I'm adding three things together. It even says three consecutive numbers. Let's talk about what does consecutive numbers mean. Consecutive numbers means integers or whole numbers, in this case integers that follow right after each other. So 1, 2, and 3 are consecutive numbers that follow right after each other, right? 17, 18, and 19 would also be consecutive numbers. We also could have negative 48, negative 47, and negative 46. Those would be negative integers, but they would still be consecutive numbers. So that's what we're looking for, is what are three numbers that when I add them together, three consecutive numbers, when I add them together, they add up to 84. So what we do is we start to look for patterns, right? Three consecutive numbers, what do I notice about these three numbers? Well, they're always one right after each other. So even though there's three things I don't know, I'm going to pick a variable. I'm going to specifically choose x to equal the smallest number out of the three. But now let's think about the next number. 2 is 1 more than 1. 18 is 1 more than 17. Negative 47 is 1 more than negative 48. So three consecutive numbers, the next number, the middle number, has to be one more. So how do I show that? I just show that as x plus 1. Isn't algebra awesome? So there we go. X is the smallest number. X plus 1 is one more than whatever x is. It has to be the middle number. And by that same logic, x plus 2 has to be the largest of the three numbers. All right, hopefully that makes sense, but there's a lot of word problems where, again, we only have one variable to be able to solve it, so we have to represent other things we don't know in terms of those variables. Okay, let's get an equation together then. The sum of these three numbers, x plus 1 plus x plus 2, has to add up to 84. So I can write out the equation x plus 1 plus x plus 2. Do you see it? The sum of three numbers, 1, 2, 3. The sum adds up to is equal to 84. And now we have, folks, an equation we can solve. All right, the parentheses, since there are plus signs in front, I can just take them right off. So really this becomes x plus 1 plus x plus 2 equals 84. I'm going to add together like terms, so I have 1x plus 1 more plus 3x's all together. And then in terms of constant numbers, I have 1 plus 2, means I have 3x plus 3 equals 84. All right, let's solve for x. Let's isolate it. I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. Get 0. So 3 times x is equal to 81. And for my final step, I'm going to do it up over here. 3 times x equals 81, so I'm going to divide both sides by the 3. That's the opposite of multiplying. And I end up with x equals 27. Now, actually, I have to pause. I missed a crucial step. So way at the very beginning, I should have underlined and said, okay, this is the question I need to answer. find the three numbers. Because I'll tell you what, common mistakes students make. They'll get to this part, they've done the algebra, they get to x equals 27, boom, they pat themselves on the back, they think they're done, and they really haven't actually answered the problem that they need to. I'm supposed to find three numbers. I haven't found three numbers yet. In fact, I haven't even answered the question. All I've done is x equals 27. That's all it's written. But what that means is x was the smallest number. So that means the smallest number is 27. The middle number must be 28. The largest number must be then x, which is 27, plus 2 must be 29. So the three numbers, I should write this out, the three numbers are 27, 28, and 29. All right, there's a good example of a word problem and interpreting consecutive numbers and working with consecutive numbers.